Do you remember what I said, the two things you need when you write an equation? That's right. You need a point and a slope. Let's take a look at another problem. All right, so one of the things we told you last week is this is a negative slope line. Anything that's from left to right that's going down, from left to right, this is traveling down. This is going to be a negative slope. Negative slope. All right? If you find a slope and you get something positive, you got to check your work. This here, anything that's going left to right that's sloped upwards, from left to right it's going upwards, that's what we call a positive slope. All right? Positive slope. So we're going to use, in the other problem, we use this equation. We use m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. We could use this equation, but we're going to use a shortcut. We always emphasize mastery level understanding. You always got to be able to do something in more than one way. So we found the slope using this formula before. Now what we're going to do is we're going to find the slope just by rising and running. We're going to rise and run. That's the definition of slope. A rise over a run, a rate of change. A change in y over change in x. All right, so you got to have a point. You got to have a slope to write the equation. All right, so this point is -2, -3. That's what that point is. And this point is -3, -1. All right? So now we not only have a point, but we have 2 points. All right? We have a 2 point. So the slope has to be negative because it's going from left to right and it's falling. So the slope is negative. Now how far are we rising? To go from here to here, how far are we going up? We're going up 1, 2 units. We're rising 2, and how far are we traveling laterally? We're traveling laterally 1 unit. So that's a quick way of finding the slope. You don't have to use y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. We did that already. Now we're finding the slope in a different way. The slope here for this problem is -2. So we have both things that we need to write the equation of a line. We have a point and we have the slope. Now let's proceed with writing the equation of a line. Let's take a look. So now let's use the slope-intercept form. We have y is equal to, let's do it over here. We have y is equal to mx plus b. We're going to substitute into here, and we're going to substitute into there. All right, so like I told you, let's just use one point or the other. Let's use this point right here. I'm covering this one up intentionally. So we substitute into y. Y is -3. We substitute into the slope, which is -2. We found that already. The x value is -2 plus b. All right, let's solve for b. We end up with 3 is equal to 4 plus b. We're going to solve for this b by subtracting 4 on both sides. We get b is equal to -1. b is equal to -1. So now you have everything that you need to write the equation. You have y is equal to the slope, which is -2, x plus the y-intercept is -1. Final answer. That's the equation of your line. If you wanted to write this in standard form, remember we told you can't have any fractions, and fortunately we don't have any fractions for this problem. All you need to do is make sure all your variables are on one side. So all you'd have to do is add the 2x to this side. You'd add the 2x, you end up with 2x plus y is equal to -1, and that would be the same answer but written in a different form. All right, so that's standard form. This is slope-intercept form. It's -3 I should have brought down. That -3 I should have brought down. I subtracted 4 on both sides, and that should have been a -7. So the y-intercept was -7. That should be a -7. Okay, so I'm sorry about that. So if that's a -7, all right, so now this is now correct. So let me explain one more time where all these numbers came from. This is an x value, that's -2. That's a y value, that's -3. I substituted this -3 in for y. I substituted this -2, which is a slope, in for m. And I substituted this -2 in for x. I got a negative times a negative, which is a positive. I subtracted that over to get -7. And that's why I put the -7 there. Here's another problem. I want to write the equation of a line given the 2 points. Here we go. So you have 2 points. This is -3, 0, and this is -1. That's -3, 0. This is -1, 4. All right? So we want to write the equation of a line. You already have 2 points. You already have 2 points. The two things that you need to write the equation of a line are a point and a slope. And you have 2 points. You choose as to which one you're going to use when it comes to writing your equation. Here we go. So now what's the slope? The slope, we don't have to use this formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. You can use it if you want, but you don't have to. This is a positive slope line. So you can just put positive. How far are you rising? 1, 2, 3, 4. You're rising 4. How far are you running? 1, 2. So the slope here was positive 2. Sorry again, I made that mistake here. I didn't bring that -3 down. All right, so be careful with all of your work. Just be careful. So now we have the slope. Let's use this point right up here and our slope. All right, so now we have y is equal to mx plus b. You have the y value of 4 is equal to the slope of 2 times the x value of -1 plus b. So you have 4 is equal to -2 plus b. You add the 2 on both sides. You add the 2 on both sides, and you get the y-intercept is 6. So now you can write the equation of that line. You get y is equal to the slope, which was 2, x, we're just substituting in here and here. Y is equal to 2x plus 6. All right, so that's your final answer. Final answer right there. So if you wanted to write this in standard form, all you have to do is now take this and make sure all of the variables are on one side. So you'd subtract the 2x over, you'd end up with -2x plus y is equal to 6.